ever wondered why it is that an actress gets cast in certain roles again and again and again? What is it that makes them look sweet, intimidating, like the girl next door? Well, the answer for this actually lies in your facial features, and you can use it for a lot more than casting a TV show. Today I'm going to break down how your unique facial features can be reflected in your outfits to create an impact. My name is Ellie Jean, I'm a personal stylist, and on this channel, we find our style by finding ourselves. A man called John Kitchener came up with this system called facial essences, and it's based on the work of McJimsey and David Kibbe, which kind of uses the theory of yin and yang and different combinations of yin and yang to define your features. Today I'm talking about women's essences, but I have done a video breaking down male essences here if you're interested in that. What is essences? What does this mean? It's basically a kind of face type. This is a generalization, but it's a combination of features in your face which create a certain effect. So if you've ever been told you have like a resting bitch face, you might, for example, have a dramatic essence. Not necessarily, it's not always how it works. Like you might just not smile very much, but it could be if people say something to you like, oh, I thought you were going to be really intimidating, or I was really scared to talk to you, or if they said, oh, you look so sweet, you look so innocent. That comes from more than the way you behave, and it comes from partially the way you carry yourself, but partially the way you look. And you can capitalize on this basically. So the Kitchener essences are summarized here. I do have a whole video on the face types and breaking down what they are, but just in quick summary, you've got dramatic, which is bold and theatrical. You have natural, which is relaxed and earthy. Gamine, which are playful, rebellious, and quirky. Classic, balanced, even, timeless. Ingenue, sweet and innocent. Romantic, sensual and glamorous. And ethereal, otherworldly or celestial. Kitchener added ingenue and ethereal to the systems that already existed. He noticed this gap. Ingenue, as you can see, is very different to the other yin face type, which is romantic, which is more sensual and like womanly, whereas ingenue is more sweet, youthful, innocent. And that's also different to gamine, which is like playful, rebellious kind of youth. So one is yang, one is yin. And ethereal is different because it's kind of this meeting point between yin and yang. So how do you find your facial features? I'm not going to go into this in too much depth today, but a quick summary is a great way to become objective about your facial features is to remove them from your face. Which now I've said that aloud, that sounds like I want you to literally rip your face apart, which would not be a great thing to recommend. But one thing that Kibbe recommends on Strictly Kibbe, which is a Facebook group that you can join and literally get feedback from Kibbe and go through the process of trying to find your body type there. But one of the things in his process is doing a line drawing of your features, and so I apply this to essences. You can take a kind of passport style photo of your face straight on, no smile, make your hair behind your ears, etc., and do outlines of your features. I like to do this on Procreate. You could literally do it with tracing paper if you don't want to spend the £10 on Procreate. I basically add a layer over the picture of my face, draw an outline of the outline of my face, of my eyes, my eyebrows, my cheekbones, nose, and lips. And then you basically want to define what you see once that layer has been separated from your face photos. Hide your face photos so you can't see that, because we're so attached to it that it's hard to like emotionally remove it. And look at the lines that you see and just try and think of what to call them. Is that a straight line? Is that a round shape? Is that large in comparison to your other features, small, and so on? And then you'll have a collection of words, and then you can think, okay, is that yang? Is that yin? Is that natural? Is that dramatic? And so on. With essences, unlike Kibbe body types, you don't have one singular essence. In my consultations, I tend to note your most dominant essence. I would love to start doing essence combinations. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, if you want to buy a consultation from me. And with that said, if you do want my opinion on your most dominant essence, as well as body type, color season, help you find your style, etc., make sure to head to bodyandstyle.com. Kitchener, I believe, does it by percentage, 30% ingenue, 30% classic, and then go through each of the essences and what percentage of that you have in your face. So if you do feel like you have a little bit of each, that's possibly true. In which case, why does it matter if you have a little bit of each? Can't you then pull on any of it? Yes, but you're gonna have ones which are more dominant or prominent, more recognizable than the others in your features. What helped me, and this is not the way that Kitchener does it, but something that I found very helpful, like with actually buying clothes and creating my wardrobe, is picking top 3. I talked about this in my last video, and I think I would say this applies to this, but I do a 60-30-10 rule. This is something I learned from Caroline Winkler. So you do 60% your most dominant essence, 30% your second dominant essence, and 10% your third dominant essence. And if you want to pull in influences of different essences, that's up to you, but this is a way that works well for me. My top 3 are ethereal, ingenue, and classic. And some people know gamine and natural in my features, and like I said, we all have influences of each, but those are my most dominant 3. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through 3 celebrity examples, find their 3 most dominant essences, and show how that can be reflected in their style, and also what happens in some cases when they don't reflect all their essences in their style. I've chosen 3 women with what I think are dramatic body types, just because I think that it takes body types out of the equation and we can see how the face type itself is what is influencing the clothes. If you use different body types, you can't be sure if that's face or body that is affecting what's in the body. So let's just focus on essences. Also, something I forgot to say is I kind of see essences as purely face type. Kitchener, I think, sees your essence as a mix of mostly your face type, and also your body type does influence your essence. So that's something to bear in mind. I tend to separate body types and essences because I think that makes it much just more easier to combine the two, like to actually apply it into your life and make use of it. Similarly, body types to an extent does involve your face. So they're kind of alternate systems, but thinking about it this way helps me personally. Something else to note, celebrities do get work done, they do get their photos edited. What I'm about to say is possibly accurate, possibly not accurate, because we don't know what the real state of these celebrities' faces would be without those changes. So it's accurate in terms of helping you see a particular photo of a face and apply what you see in that photo to clothes and see what you see in your face types and stuff. But in real life, a celebrity might look different to how they look in a photograph. So I'm going to break down the features of each of these celebrities' faces and what kind of yin-yang balance I think that adds, or what I think that adds to their yin-yang balance rather. So let's begin with Zendaya. For Zendaya, I see a somewhat square face shape, and this is a slight gamine ingenue influence. The short element of the face is yin in general. That slight squarishness is slightly yang. Large eyes, ingenue. Large, depending on where it is on your facial features, can be yang or it can be yin. When it comes to the eyes, tends to be a yin feature. But as well as large eyes, she's got almond eyes. So almond shapes are more like straight and angular, so this is a dramatic feature. She has a sharp nose, dramatic, soft lush lips, ingenue, and they're actually quite small, round lips. So that's what makes it ingenue, not romantic. She's got a low forehead, which is ingenue, short face, ingenue, blunt jawline, natural. So I don't see a lot of gamine in Zendaya's features. I see that more as like a lot of yang coming through, but doesn't create that kind of playful, rebellious feel. Other people may disagree on that. I think gamine is in there somewhere, but I don't think it's in her top 3. Pointed chin, dramatic, somewhat strong brows, natural/dramatic. In my opinion, her dominant features are ingenue, natural, and dramatic with some gamine influence. If there's one thing that Zendaya tends to drop, it's her ingenue in her outfits. She doesn't bring this out very much. I think partially because ingenue isn't like very trendy. Those very dramatic, natural styles are much more in fashion, and so it's much easier for her to capitalize on the love for that, especially if she has that somewhat in her features. So she'll sometimes drop the ingenue, and we can see that a little bit in this first outfit. This is a great combination of dramatic and natural. So you've got the trainers, which are very natural, the sharp, tailored, dramatic trousers, very dramatic pinstripes, such a dramatic feature, and the slung on vest, very natural. So a great combination there. This is a very famous Zendaya photo of her in this kind of, I want to say like reddish, like burgundy leather coat and boots and this dress underneath. The pattern of the dress is very natural. That leather is a natural and dramatic feature. So that's how she's got that mix there. Is there a lot of ingenue here? No. I would say perhaps the only thing that's slightly honouring her ingenue here is the fact that it's not like a black outfit. You've got a lot of rich and light colours coming through, and I would say that's a slight nod to her ingenue. This outfit, this pink and black outfit, is a dramatic and ingenue combo, so that pink is a great way to bring out that ingenue, and you can see her face looking very, very sweet in this picture. That's very much been highlighted with the ponytail as well, very youthful, but it's still a sharp pinstripe suit. Not a lot of natural in this one. Now this outfit, I think, is a perfect combination of all three. You've got the sheen, which is honouring her ingenue, the round neckline, again honouring her ingenue, the suit details honouring her dramatic, very sharp, very tailored. I think the fact that the way the blazer is worn, kind of thrown on, it's slightly oversized, this is honouring her natural slightly. So natural takes a backseat here to an extent, but also her necklace is slightly natural, it's slightly chunky against her delicate dramatic frame. So quite a nice mix of all three there. Another mix of all three is this very iconic green, what I like to think of as mermaid dress. So you've got the ingenue and the round neckline. The corseting is quite sweet and innocent, so is that sheen. The delicate shine of the earrings is quite ingenue. The natural is the flow of that draping. Looks almost thrown on, looks kind of casual and relaxed. That's that natural coming through. The dramatic, the corseting, the very sharp structure of that corset, the elongation of the earrings, very dramatic. Just that swoosh. The swoosh is very dramatic. Now, in this outfit, this orange dress, I think ingenue is at the kind of forefront here, and I don't think it creates such a good of an effect. I think this is like an ingenue gamine-ish kind of look of Zendaya's, and I think you can feel that something's missing. Does she look incredible? Yes. Is this different to the rest of her looks? Yes, and that makes it quite exciting, but I personally don't think it has the same impact of the flow of the natural and dramatic together that she has in some of her other outfits. Do I still think she looks like the most beautiful woman in the world with one of the coolest outfits in the world? Yes. So example 2 is Olivia Culpo. She has a sort of square, almost rectangle face shape. So it's slightly yang, but I think it's mostly like a classic feature because it's somewhere in the middle. It's not too yang, it's not too yin. She's got a moderate sized face, very classic. Her large round eyes are romantic. Soft lush lips are romantic. So you can see, I think, the difference between Zendaya and Olivia Culpo's kind of yin very clearly. Zendaya's very small, delicate, whereas Olivia's yin is very soft and lush. She's got a slightly sharp nose, so that slightly element, the fact that it's not totally definable as sharp, is the classic, and the sharp is the dramatic. She's got a slightly low forehead, so a bit of classic there, and also romantic. She's got thick, but also sharp brows, so they're not unruly, they're very like defined, but they're quite thick. So I'd say this is somewhere between natural and dramatic. High cheekbones, dramatic. Evenly spaced eyes, classic, very symmetrical. So I think she has a mix of classic, romantic, and dramatic. I have read that people think she has ingenue, but I think it seems fairly obvious to me that she's more glamorous and sensual than delicate and youthful. So how does she bring this out in her style? This look where she's wearing a kind of houndstooth print, I think, is a great example. You've got the quite womanly corset detail here, that round neck, just the focus on the bust there. The long skirt is quite sensual, quite form-fitting. That houndstooth print is very dramatic, but at the same time it's kind of classic. It's like, it's one of those prints which is quite bold and geometric, but it's also quite timeless, right? And it's also very monochrome, so it creates a statement. But so I think this is a great mix of all three. This outfit here with the off-shoulder pink top, that off-shoulder bustier is so romantic, so incredibly romantic. I think what's classic in this outfit is that balance between the formality of the top and the relaxed jeans. It's got something kind of French about that combination that's very classic and timeless. There's also the minimal detail, very classic. The dramatic, I guess, is that formality of the top. It's that making of a statement. So an interesting mix of all three there. This is one of not just my favorite Olivia Culpo outfits, but I think one of my favorite outfits that I find on Pinterest again and again and again. It's this red and pink outfit ensemble. So that lush red, instantly romantic. The ruffles on the skirt, very romantic. The color blocking is very dramatic. The modesty is quite classic. That moderate length is quite classic. Those buttons, quite timeless. Like they're almost gamine, but everything's quite pared down, so it's very classic. The military element of those buttons as well is slightly dramatic. And the sharp heels as well, very dramatic. This is a really casual outfit of Olivia's. She's got this vertical stripe top on and just jeans and some sandals. And again, I think this does all three things here. I think there's not a lot going on, which is quite classic. She's got, you know, kept to two very simple colors. It's very modest. The pattern's very simple, but it is also a geometric pattern. So there's the dramatic coming in. The ruffles are very romantic, and just that draping is very romantic. The off shoulder, letting a little bit of skin show, and also the delicacy? The delicacy? That's not right. The delicate nature of the shoe. She's wearing a white jumpsuit in this outfit, and again, so dramatic, romantic, classic. That minimal detail, so classic, looks very timeless, looks like it could have been like from the 50s, or it's very timeless because of that. The bag is also very classic, those neutral tones. Elongated earrings, very dramatic. The sharp leg of the trouser adds a little bit of dramatic because this would work as a dress, but adding the trouser rather than it being a dress, it just adds that little bit of dramatic, honoring who she is. That low neck is very romantic. The soft draped material, very romantic. And lastly, for Olivia Culpo, she's wearing this leather skirt and white shirt. A white blouse is instantly very classic, very timeless because it's very minimal, it's very simple, but those ruffles are very romantic. I think in this case, the leather is more dramatic than romantic. It's like got an edginess to it. Also, that belt is very dramatic. The ruffles on the skirt add that romantic influence. But again, the neutral colors, quite classic. The color blocking is quite dramatic. And the studs as well, I think, are quite dramatic. So a different kind of mix of all three there. Okay, and lastly, Anya Taylor-Joy. Anya's face is almost like an oval face. It's quite a similar face shape to mine, where it's oval, but with like some sharp points. I don't know what kind of face shape you'd call that. I don't think it really has a name. It's like somewhere between an oval and a rectangle face shape, but it's like more narrow and like, anyway, elongated but soft and round is ethereal completely. Elongated plus soft is ethereal. The pointed shin is quite dramatic. It's that yang influence. Now, for Anya, I'm gonna tell you off the bat because I think it makes my explanation make more sense. She's got a mix of ethereal, gamine, and ingenue. Now, ethereal and gamine, not like any one feature is necessarily gonna read ingenue or gamine. It's like the combination that makes ethereal and gamine. So gamine is inherently like a mix of extreme contrasts. So we see that a lot in Anya's face, and I think ethereal is somewhat the same thing. So you've got some very yin and some very yang mixed together. So with that said, she's got a pointed chin, which is her yang influence. So I've written here dramatic, but I don't think she has dramatic. I think this is contributing to her ethereal. She's got an elongated face, which is yang. Sharp, thin brows, yang. Those high, sharp cheekbones, very yang. Again, every time I'm saying yang here, I'm saying this is contributing to her ethereal. Her small, round and sharp lips, so that the small and roundness is quite ingenue, but the sharpness of them is a little touch of yang, a little touch of dramatic. Large, round eyes are what give her gamine essence and her ingenue essence. Very defining feature of gamines. Not all gamines have large, round eyes, but it often creates that gamine effect. Wide set eyes, this is one of the only things I would say is like a defining ethereal feature, not just like contrast. It's very ethereal to have wide set eyes. Also quite gamine to have wide set eyes too. She's got a low to medium forehead, so somewhat ingenue gamine. It's a yin influence anyway. She's got a sharp nose, so dramatic or yang, adding to that ethereal. So yes, I think her dominant features are ethereal, gamine, and ingenue, with maybe some dramatic influence. Now I just want to show you first of all some looks which honor her gamine first. I think a lot of people can see the gamine in her, and they dress her in these kind of 60s gamine-ish styles. I had a comment on my last video saying that gamine is more associated with the 20s and the 60s, but personally, I see a lot of gamine in the 60s. But you can see how these kind of short, boxy lines are missing something with Anya. It definitely creates a certain kind of effect, and it somewhat works to an extent, but without the flow and without the innocence and the ethereal, I think there is just something missing. It doesn't have that same elegance to the outfits, although they still work. Like I'm not saying they're terrible because they still honor her gamine, but I'm saying without the mix of the other two, it doesn't have quite the same impact. So this first outfit I want to show you, I think combines all three perfectly. So it's this short dress. She seems to be on some kind of late night show. It's got the flow there, which is the ethereal. The shimmer is very ethereal. The layered tulle, very ethereal. That headband is quite gameenish. The lush pink shimmer, again, also somewhat ingenue. So a great mix of all three. I think just that flow is so ethereal and is perfect for her. This second look is such an iconic Anya Taylor-Joy look, and it's not that ethereal to an extent. I think this is more ingenue gamine. I would say it has some ethereal because of that flow. And I would say that heart shape is very ingenue. The gamine, I would say, is kind of like that pure black. I think it kind of adds contrast with the white of her hair. It's not totally gameenish, but I can kind of see that. I'd say maybe it's a little bit of dramatic in there, especially with those legs. The fact that it's a jumpsuit is quite gameenish, I think, because it's got that playful association with youth. A lot of like children get put in one pieces, and I think it's like a slightly subtle nod to that, which you find in the gamine. So that's quite an interesting mix of all three. Or a lot of her red carpet looks are an amazing mix of all three. I could talk about her red carpet looks forever. For example, this lush peachy red carpet look, the ethereal in those feathers, the ingenue in the delicate draping, the gamine in, is that a bag or is that like, oh no, it's just a bouquet of flowers, sorry. Guess not that gamine, I thought it was a handbag. The high neck, maybe a little gamine, not a lot of gamine in this one. I guess the feathers, you could argue, are a little bit gamine, like there's something quite quirky and playful about that as well. So one like element can do two things. This red carpet look has this really interesting pattern on it. It's got a rose here, which is very ingenue. The unbroken flowing line is very ethereal. Shawl, I want to say, the shawl, the wrap, anyway, it's quite ethereal because it adds to the draping there. But I would say that kind of, what does that look like, that pattern? It's kind of like a doily, I want to say. So that kind of a vintage element, that little touch of retro is enough to bring the gamine through into that outfit. This is different to the other red carpet looks we've looked at. She's wearing this gold corset and these funky shoes. There's a lot of gamine in this one, like with the toes in the gold, you can literally see on the shoe, the very Madonna bust, very gamine. But there's a sense of ethereal here too with that metallic. Not a lot of ingenue in this one, much more of an ethereal gamine mix, but I thought it was quite interesting because we've seen a lot of ethereal ingenue mixes. Just quite interesting how she's mixing the two there. Kind of cigarette pants or a touch to the retro, so a little bit of gamine in there. That bold belt is quite playful, rebellious, quite quirky. That's very gamine. Maybe you could argue that I think it's a bit of a scalloped edge on the bottom of the corset. That's a little touch of ingenue. So with those three celebrities, I've covered all 7 style essences and how you might bring them out into an outfit. I really hope you found this useful. I had great fun filming this one. I'm having a real fun run with my videos recently. I really would recommend watching my video last week, which is 101 of patterns, which is a similar kind of deep dive like this video has been. And make sure to view my consultations if you want my opinion on your essence. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.